Hello and good day to all of you. So in this video lecture, we are going to learn about the moon and its formation and what are the theory behind the formation of the moon. And also we'll look at some comparison of the moon with respect to its size, atmosphere, and the magnetic field of the moon. So before starting the lecture, we have some learning outcome for this chunk of lecture. So the first learning outcome is to learn about the formation of the moon and the theory behind the formation of this moon given. And the second objective or the learning outcome is to know the many interesting facts about the moon, such as their atmosphere, temperature, and a lot of things we are going to discuss in this lecture. So obviously we are thinking about how did our moon form. So there are some theories which has been given. So we are going to discuss as well what has been happening so far. So I mean the formation of the universe, the solar system, and the formation of the moon. So we are going to discuss each and everything. So as I mentioned, we are going to discuss about the theories of the formation of the moon. So actually the moon is a sister world that form in the orbit around the earth as the earth form. So there are different theories which was given. So the first theory which was given is a capture theory. So according to this theory, so the moon was formed somewhere else in the solar system and then it was captured into the orbit of the earth. And the second theory, which is the fission theory, it states that the earth moon is actually the part of the earth. So when the earth spun so fast that it spun off the moon. So in this figure you can see. So actually this moon was the part of the soul of the earth, and when earth was spinning so fast, so it came out from the earth material. So then it's come into the orbit. And the third theory is condensation theory. So it states that the moon and earth condense individually from the nebula that form the solar system. So it's talking about the Big Bang. I mean, when it was Big Bang and nebula. So because of that time, so everything was extracted individually. So the Earth and the Moon was individual. Then it comes into the orbit of the Earth. And the fourth theory, which is the giant impact theory. So what it states that actually it is the most widely accepted theory today is the giant impact theory. So what it proposed, so it proposed that the moon formed during a collision between the earth and also another small planet about the same size of the Mars. And when it's hit to the surface of the earth, so the debris obviously came out and it was in a disk of the debris. So it was rotating, revolving around the earth. And the later on, all the debris was captured by the earth, but only the debris which was the bigger, it came into being as a moon. And also some of the debris goes away from the orbit of the earth. So only the moon was left because of this hitting the small planets. So that is the theory which is mostly accepted recently. So let's look at the size and some other interesting fact about the moon. So as I mentioned, the moon is the Earth only proper natural satellite, and it's at 1/4 of the diameter of the Earth. If we compare the size of the moon, so it's actually the size is almost equal to the Australia continent, Australia country maybe we can call, and it is one of the largest natural satellite. And if you look at the natural satellite in the solar system, so this is the fifth largest satellite in overall solar system. Obviously the four largest satellites are from Jupiter, and the orbiting Earth is an average lunar distance is 380,400 kilometer. So that is the orbiting Earth at average of the lunar distance. So also the diameter, as mentioned, it's 1/4 of the Earth, or we can call it quarter of the Earth, and it's look bigger because it's close to us. Even if you look into the sky, the moon and sun appears to be same, but because of the distance, the moon is near to the Earth and sun is so far from the Earth, so that's why it appears to be same. And especially when we have the solar eclipse or the lunar eclipse, so then you can observe these type of features, so that the moon is exactly similar size of the sun. So moon has no atmosphere, and there is a huge difference in day and night temperature. So actually the atmosphere protect the planet or object from the change of the temperature in day and night. So the temperature in the daytime at the moon is 127 degrees Celsius, and in the night is minus 173 degrees Celsius, which is a huge difference in temperature. So as mentioned, there is no atmosphere, so there is no water, no rain, no wind, and there is no cloud at the moon. So like everything else in the solar system, moon is also does not have its own light of or the source of energy. So it's shine due to the sunlight. So it will reflect the sunlight when we are looking at it. And there is no water on the surface of the moon. And if you're looking at the gravity of the moon, so the gravity of the moon is 1/6 of the Earth. So your weight would be 1/6 of your weight on the Earth. So let's say if you're 60 kg here, if you weight yourself on the moon, you will be 10 kg. So let's look at the first person who stepped on the moon. So just to make you sure that moon is only the celestial body in our solar system other than the Earth on which the human have set foot. There's some other planet which we are explored like Mars, but still we don't have any human step on the other planets or the any satellites. So the guy name is Neil Armstrong, which was the first person to walk on the surface of the moon. He was the commander of the American mission Apollo 11, and he stepped on the moon on 21st July 1969. So let's compare some of the difference between Earth and moon, so you will be more clear about the understanding of the moon. So if you look at the diameter of the Earth is 12,756 kilometer, and the diameter of the moon is 3,476 kilometer. And as you know that there is a tilt of the Earth, so Earth is not like this, so it's slightly tilted 23 degree, but the moon is tilted 7 degree. And the surface temperature of the Earth is maximum is minus 73 degrees Celsius and 48, maybe it goes up to 50 or 52 sometime like that. But the surface temperature of the moon is 127 degrees Celsius to minus 173 degrees Celsius. And there is a thick atmosphere and the mild greenhouse effect. Obviously, we are protected by the atmosphere around the Earth, but there is no atmosphere or no atmosphere on the moon. So it's a lots of water. As you know, 70% of the Earth is covered with water. But if you look at the moon, there is no water. There is some ice at the pool in shadows, but it's still not sure. So let's look at the magnetic field or the quakes. So the Earth has its own magnetic field, and also we have the earthquakes. But if you look at the moon, so there is no magnetic field, so there is no magnetic north and south pole and these type of things, because of the Earth inside is we are going to learn about the internal structure of the moon as well. So there is no magnetic field, and there is actually small moon quakes and the small offset core. Okay, with that's all. I think you have learned about the moons and its formation and also some interesting fact. Okay, with that's all. Thank you so much and have a good day.